What up, guys? Chris Morrison here. Lessons you are going to learn in this podcast are wild. Past 2 years, we have done over 100 grand a month every single month for the past 2 years as an average. We walked through the lessons we learned last year in terms of offers, in terms of hiring, in terms of culture, in terms of the way we were selling and pre-selling, and what it was that actually helped us drive results and where we fucked up as well. So if you would like to learn how to make 100 grand a month, even when that would be perceived as a bad month, and also be able to pre-sell clients, build great team, and bring in people who are a culture fit who want to scale your shit to the fucking moon, this is the episode for you. And let's get the fuck into it. I think it's recording. This is the first views this recording in ages since Fathom has become a thing.
Sure, to do podcasting.
Yeah, no, just in general. Like I haven't pressed record on this since Fathom has been a thing forever.
Word, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Right.
Well, here we are. Podcast. First podcast together in a while.
Management and fucking the differences. And let me tell you, boys and girls, the biggest team member we have right now is ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's it.
End of episode. That's it. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's been a while since we've done one, hey? I'm amped to get back into them for sure. Genuinely amped to get back into them, hey? Some updates. We had our second year of doing over the average of 100K per month in a row. So I think that's worth average, because like over 1.3, I think it was last year. So the average has to have been over 100K per month. Some were way higher, some were like average and all sort of stuff as well. And then the year before at the same time too. So like that is 2 years in a row of over 100 grand per month as an average, which is fucking great.
100%.
Really, really solid. So the reason I share that is that if we're sharing anything and you're at 10 grand a month, shut the fuck up and listen to us.
And as much as we
fucking
and we're kind of like in that position. Like I think I heard this on Brian Mark's podcast where it's like being in a position where you're like, I don't know the word you use, but like humble but hungry at the same time. Like I think like I'm genuinely grateful and appreciative of like the achievements we've done, but also the upgrades to our quality of life, the standards that we've experienced and experiences we've had because of it. But oh man, am I fucking still hungry for the big next future $1 million months and all that jazz. But yeah, I think where we've like the last year has given us kind of the skills to the ability to know like we can consistently do $1 million a year. So I'm very appreciative of that, and I don't have that
baseline.
As
a baseline, yeah. Like even if we fell, we're doing over $1 million, which is like what an interesting like scenario, right? It's like there is so many things that probably contribute to that being a thing, if that makes sense. Which is awesome. I think that we can probably chat through a whole lot of stuff that probably like sucked last year and like where we failed and everything else too. I think that's probably worth some time that would lead us into why we've made the decisions that we're making to go toward this year as well, right? Like we are shooting for 5 million this year. We are aligning our team's behavior for 5 million this year. We are hiring with the intent of making sure that we have people for 5 million this year. We are aligning our product for 5 million this year. We are aligning our operations for 5 million this year. We are aligning our management structure and all that stuff for 5 million this year. And I think almost all of it is going to come based off the experiences we had last year that fucking sucked, if I'm honest. Right? Because like all the changes we made are based off probably most of the mistakes we made at the same time too. Right? And like I think that the biggest change is like sick podcaster and fuck everyone says otherwise. But I'm not even set up properly. Like he was trying to set cameras up and stuff. And I was like, fuck, let's just hit record.
Imperfect action.
Right? So fuck man, if more people understood that, bro. More people understood that shit. Fuck me. Yeah, I was fuck man. I was thinking about this because like over the past couple of days, I've really been sitting down and thinking like, what are the main reasons people end up leaving products like ours, if that makes sense, right? And it's like wrong fit, results weren't consistent enough, overwhelmed, or don't see the help within it anymore, if that makes sense. Because like they've either
Yeah.
gone past or they don't see the utility in you working with us. Not because it's not there, but because it's like there genuinely isn't anymore for them, if that makes sense, right? And I think that like imperfect action kills 3 of them.
Right.
Look, if more people like eliminated the whole idea of perfection, and just like took more imperfect action in that scenario, it would have eliminated 3 of those just for those types of people. The other utility one where it's like there's no fucking use anymore. That one can't. I don't know if you do that one via imperfect action.
Yeah, like yeah. I mean, yeah. There's always gonna be like things that you need to develop and grow and kind of like gaps in your product for sure. But end of the day, like we work with humans, and I think last year we learned so much about like inevitable patterns in our the people we work with. And this applies to our sales team too, right? Like things that we kind of picked up. So that's I think been a huge thing going into this year. But oh man, the list goes on of all the kind of big lessons from last year, big fuck ups, 100%. I think the biggest one personally that I'm going to start with is probably like not enough emphasis on control over my own personal environment. I think it was a second afterthought of like, hey, we're going to do all these targets and like, where we're going. And I kind of let the personal stuff hang by the side. And I know that that had a factor in certain months where it felt like a ceiling. So I don't know. For me, I think this year, like a massive thing is a massive, like a very clear standards and non-negotiable of like what is the environment I need to be in, and then just no matter what location I'm in, I'm holding that. Is kind of as you've seen, right? It's been such a big focus for me so far, but it's 2025, but it's been huge. Everything is starting off so much stronger. That's been a huge thing I fucked up last year. But I guess I don't know, as a company, what do you think? Were some of the major areas we dropped the ball, or I guess lessons from management side
data or lack thereof.
for show? Yep.
Right. And I recall hearing someone say ages ago, there's like levels of data, if that makes sense, right? And it's like we didn't have enough. I've spent the part what's the date today? 28th of January. I've spent the past 30 fucking days building dashboards.
Pretty much.
Like to be able to collect more data and be able to be aware of like how things are going effectively and all this stuff as well, right? I think that as a consequence of there not being enough data, we made a lot more emotional decisions than we did based off actual data that weren't actually helpful to us, if that makes sense. We weren't tracking enough of like the call tracking, as in like we weren't tracking anywhere near enough data points around why people were or weren't closing. We weren't tracking anywhere near enough data points in marketing to be able to figure out where the best leads were coming from. We weren't tracking anywhere near enough data in the client success to work out like if people are leaving here, what's the common actual reason, not based off emotion, but actual like on day 28, everyone that goes and eats an ice cream, fucking meltdown, right?
Absolutely. Big time. Turn it to the whole thing, right? Like the whole missing, which is yeah, data. What a interesting thing. And man, like if you're a client listening to this, track your fucking numbers, reminder.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
This is
For
why
sure.
this is why great decisions come from data and then context. Data first. But yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, that was a huge
Absolutely.
thing.
And well, like a great fucking example of this, right, is like fucking sitting there in Arizona, I was like, hey Barris, I think I want to cry. It's like, what's up? It's like I just ran our average time to client from lead, and it's 370 days. So for anyone listening, what that means is like lead in, we paid for a lead, or they came in organically, or XYZ. I was tracking from group member through to client, or from Facebook friend to client, or from ad to client, whichever it was. I put the effort in to go and find the data for where they came from and when they first joined our world. And the average was like 360 fucking days. It's a year until they became a client. There was a lot that was shorter, right? But that's also not surprising because of the nature of the like the brand, if that makes sense, right? A lot of people didn't want to buy until they'd actually seen more of our stuff. Like that's not actually uncommon at all. That's actually quite common.
Super.
And what's interesting is a lot of those people who did end up buying at day 360 were fucking great clients because they
That's
knew
smart.
so much already,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But so far this year, I'm looking at 80% of the clients that have signed up this year, so far this year, have been under 20 days being in the system.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah. And like the thing to point out is like I think last year we've had clients that have signed up also quickly, but there's been so much that's happened differently that have actually increased their awareness. Like that's what's not because like anybody just like there are worse a lot of guys signing up in 7 days, right? But like the where we fucked up is there's so much churn happening around that. There was so much like issues and there's every process, right? Like how many times we kind of digged in step by step, like why this is all happening and the amount of meetings to reverse engineer, like what were the things that people organically were going through that they needed to go through in the paid funnel, the PSL, like all the things we know they're going to need to go from 100K to 500K, like all the next step stuff. Cause you can get the 100K in organic with your pipeline. That was great. But then that's where we got the bottleneck last year.
Yeah. Yeah. We were doing fairly consistent, like organically without any, like the paid was literally trickling in because realistically that paid was, even though we were running it, right? Like because we didn't have good data and like we weren't tracking, like now that we have better tracking in place, we've decreased the time to client by literally fucking 11 months, 15 times, right? Like, which is great. Which gives us more ammunition to spend and or more reason to spend and everything else as well. But fuck, what a different world to play in when you know that that was just purely based on data, right? Does that mean we're stopping? Does that mean we're stopping all the organic stuff? No, right? We had a meeting last week where we knew we need to double down more on and not even a different approach. It's just like we want to make it coherent. It's the wrong word. Dumb Australian version of it. What I'm trying to say is like we want it to match up with the stuff that's being paid for, right? Coherence the wrong word. There's a smarter word. You're Canadian. You'll come up with a smarter word for
What
sure.
you're saying. You're
Well,
saying
the organic and the paid have to match up. They have to actually be the same messaging and all the things too, right? Like, congruent. Fuck you. Congruent. That's the one. Coherence sounded nice, right? It sounded nice. I knew it was a C word that was a C word that came across with wisdom, and I think the other one is Chris.
Yeah. And what? Let us still I that actually is probably another area that we like stumbled upon realizing what's a problem is like you can't just you've got our organic and then you run a paid campaign. Like I think we kind of leveled up our full comprehension of what scaling marketing looks like last year too. Like,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more.
yeah.
Do you want to expand that?
Yeah.
Expand it.
Yeah. Because I think like
If anyone ends up listening to this, they'll probably go like, "Cool, what does he mean by that?"
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What are you meaning, right? But like the biggest mistake I think that and it's the same standard stuff that I think a lot of agencies would communicate to their clients and they would say that like your paid ads should be the fuel to your organic, right? But when they say, what do you mean? I think just really getting really clear on um like what are the actual things that convert people? What are the actual things that problems that they would
Oh, glad you
experience?
brought that up. Actually, yeah.
Right? Because those were the things that we kind of like we knew in our organic there were things that they were like actually consuming that were converting. But then wanting paids, right? We're just going based off of and hey, like what we did, I wouldn't change the path because it was like imagine having no organic and having to test all your offers cold and like we had so much to use for our paid, right? So like our journey was probably way less painful than so many other guys. So like we had so much shit to use, even just to show like even with the massive amount of organic content and offers and proving stuff that we had to test, right? It still is still a journey until we actually understood like, oh, these conversion events matter. These are the offers that work. These are the things that we kind of lean on angle wise. It was like, so yeah, I don't know, like what you were the center of this. So
I have two things that worked really fucking well that I would love to point out in that scenario too, right? Because like I've got more things that we fucked up on, and I think like it doesn't matter if we jump around. This is an area we did well in, right? up-leveling, and not even up-leveling, but like, because it's not good production quality, and who gives a fuck about that for this scenario? But having a good pre-call asset that has someone actually want to buy into the method, the results, the way we do things, and understanding the offer before they hop on a call.
Yeah.
Right? Like, from our paid people right now, right? Like I took a triage call with someone the other day, because abs needed to, like, no one else could take the call, so let's chuck it in, right? Dude was like, oh, I don't know. It's just like, cool, man. Like, if I were to share something with you that communicated, who we are, what we do, the actual type of results we get, and the method that we use, and examples of what that looks like, and actually look at our offer, right? Like, if I could do that, and I could, like, for you, I promise you that next week or tomorrow, I forget what it was, that myself or someone from the team will catch up with you and walk you through how to get lead flow for yourself and how to actually be able to use that to get to the level you want to, so you can get value. Would it help you out if I showed you that, so you can see we're not fakers or bullshit artists or whatever else that it is, and that independent of whether you actually want to work with us ever, that you come to that call and you're 100% going to be able to walk away with a clear plan on what to do, whether you work with us or not, how to overcome the bottlenecks, et cetera, right? It's like, oh, all right, no problems. This was like someone who's like fairly cold, just referenced to, because it was from a text, right?
Okay.
And that's why I'm sharing this too, because it was quite a cold person.
Okay.
He watched the pre-call asset and was like, bro, he goes, I want to buy.
And this was in Arizona? In Arizona time?
And this is like 2 days ago.
You're talking about the
This is, the pre-call asset was something that we did really fucking well. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that the one that he watched was it's a YouTube video. It is it says pre-sell. That's the cover photo. And it's like how I build $1 million businesses, if that makes sense, right?
Oh,
it's a walkthrough of the actual like our process, examples. I walk through like the offer linking method. I walk through the 4 types of content we use. I walk through the script. It's essentially the whole fucking product, right? It's everything.
45-minute one?
45-minute fucking demonstration of our actual product. I literally give 100% of everything away. I give 100% of everything away in it, right? Like, there actually isn't anything that I don't give away in it at all. I give the script. I give the fucking the offers, as in like this is how you create comment below this. I put like 20 examples in it as well. I gave the way to come up with the pre-call asset. I gave the funnel. Everything's in it, right? But it also had live client examples, and it also had a breakdown of the structure of our actual offer, if that makes sense. So dudes show up, or they watch it and they go, oh, I actually like I'm already interested in this thing. I already like what you do. I already like your results. I already like what you're doing here. And as a consequence of that, I've had people like watching going, hey, like, can you just send me a payment link? Right? It changes the whole experience of the conversation that someone's having with you, because they can see very clearly this is something that I'd like. The second thing we did really well was creating new offers, meaning like the birthday offer and the Christmas offer, right? Like they were really, really, really solid, right? Because like I don't think many people act like the offer is sure. There's an argument for why your offer is meant to be the best in the world and everything else that comes with that too. However, what worked really well with the ones that we did is that I don't even know if it's worked really well, because I've been thinking about this to a deep level. And it's like, I don't think that the offers needed to be good. They just needed to be something new for the people who are in our existing audience to want to buy something that didn't seem like it was the same.
Yeah, I think if I were to put a word, it'd be like new time-based opportunity.
Yeah, correct.
We like for like, if you don't know like what the fuck we're saying, guys, we're like I think in for your birthday in Q3 to Q4 we released like special offers for signing up that had like extra bonuses and things like that. So it's the same core product if you're listening and can choose. But what we did is identify in that time of the year, and based off of the objections, forget it, what were the the actual solutions that they needed for them to come in and succeed at this time, right? So like Christmas, things that they needed. And then like for the holiday offer, they would have like biggest thing people had as offers, so there's done for you elements. So we addressed those objections, made a great offer about it. And the offer itself wasn't like revolutionary thing that was a no-brainer. It was just a new novel thing, addressed a new objection, and it was time-based. So we pushed it on the workflow.
And because I wrote a good like Google document sales page for it, I think I sold 11 units without a sales call.
That was
Right.
more.
Which is great, right? Yes. Yeah, that's right. Right. Yeah. You like it? We went back to Google Sheets again this year as well. You like that?
I love them too, though. I love this.
It's actually fun. Anyway.
It's a different
Yeah, it's a whole different conversation. But like, I think that works really well, right? Because like, it puts you in a position where you can very clearly just like say, hey, this is what we got right now. Is just what you want to do. And if it actually eliminates all the reasons why most people aren't purchasing, i.e. the objections, then you can put in either done for you or, something to help with that. It makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
I think it makes a big difference. But like the pre-call asset, because like they both end up being pre-call assets, but the pre-call asset helped in like converting people independent of whether if it was a time-based thing or not, right? And the like Google Doc offer that was like a new updated thing based off existing time of year or time of circumstance objections was really solid because it was something new for people who have already been in our pipeline for a really long time who needed a reason to buy.
Yeah, totally.
Right. Needed a reason to buy, right? And like they both worked really well in that scenario. Really well. So we obviously need to keep doing that stuff, which is going to happen anyway. I think they both work really well, and I think that the impact of those is still helping us now, right? So the premise of putting together something prior to a call to have someone understand who you are, what you do, the problems you solve, examples of that in client examples, the process you take people through, the method you use, the reasons why it works better than others, and an actual like explainer of the actual offer itself prior to getting to a call. And then the call is about alignment of that thing with you as a vendor for that person, like what your experience looks like with them too, like you and them, as opposed to that call being about, hey, can you tell me about the offer, is such a better place to come from. Like you want to be in a world where they already know everything and they're just coming to find out how's it going to work for me in particular.
Yeah,
that's what you want. That's what you want.
100%. Man, yeah, I think just demonstrate like, yeah, would it be fair to say that kind of like the big picture is great marketing and content gets people to raise their hand and be willing to have the conversation. A great setter process plus pre-selling assets gets people actually interested to consider working with you and seeing you as a solution to their problems since they properly identify and show you the pre-selling. And a great closer at the end is supposed to help you make the decision that's actually best for you based off of your situation or where you're looking to go. And I think we had all those pieces except a dope setter, pre-selling stuff that we had to create last year. And I remember when you put that in place, like we were doing 2 steps.
Right? Just quickly, it's for anyone think, oh, it's a simple thing. I put 40 hours into this thing. Like it's a pre-selling asset. I put 40 hours into creating this thing. It's like a 200 fucking slide thing for me to be able to go through something as well. Absolutely. Right? So like there is some method to the madness, and I did put a lot of effort into it. I didn't just slap some shit together.
It's not like a basic VSL, and like before you guys go creating VSLs in your sales process, stuff like that, like go consult your business coach. If your client reach out to us, there should be a proper consideration around what taxes. We're just sharing with you guys the best, what we learned around our process, around our stage with our sales team. So it doesn't mean you should do that, right? Again. But yeah, like we had a fucking like Kyle, who was like a legend in setting. And then your content and our offers that we're putting out with ads, like we were getting leads, but it was like, I think it was that was the core theme. It was like there was a missing bridge not necessarily in front end marketing, but like the marketing that happens as
Yeah,
somebody
the nurture conversion element.
nurture. Yeah, it's not the lead gen. It's not it's the nurture conversion. And like, boy, is this a major problem across everybody's funnels. Like, I think everybody has.
Absolutely.
So I'm super glad we solved this last year. I feel like we have the formula. We've helped clients already solve this too. And we've had clients that like experience the same results and literally enroll people sitting at Disneyland or sitting at a concert. They enroll people. So
Fucking Garrett, every time he goes to Disneyland, he does like
every year, I love Garrett.
every year he makes 10 to 20 grand while he goes to Disneyland. It's fucking great, bro.
Yeah.
I love
So
every
this
bit
is
of it.
like Wood Wilson. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck love you, dude. You great guy. Who's also building a team and going through kind of what we went through last year and sort of this.
It's a fucking like 110 or something like that as an average right now from the past like 30 to
Total.
no, not 30, like 90 to 120 days, whatever else it is.
Oh yeah, he's been consistent.
He started with us at fucking a very unhealthy 15 grand a month. Because he had
And a
800
small beard.
contractors.
And a small beard.
A small beard. Now beard is thick, brother.
Big beards, big car, love it. But yeah,
And guns.
and yeah, it was man, yeah. So that was like it's a lot that you kind of really get to experience and just FYI guys, right? Like if you thought that we were like experiencing this stuff and it was all positive most of the time, then like
Oh no, we had some fucked up stuff too. Don't get me wrong.
there was
Like,
like wow.
I was just thinking about some good things that happened.
Well, no, I'm saying like as we're going through this stuff, like it's a journey. Like as each problem, each experience is a journey in itself. Like look back to the VSL thing, right? Like just that in of itself is a journey. And I think that was a huge lesson that we kind of reiterate in our meetings today. After every meeting, it's like, don't forget it's a journey, don't forget it's a journey. And I think that was a huge lesson from last year too. Like I think we were had really high expectations of things just kind of working out, putting it in, and we put so much laborious effort into getting things set up. But this year, I feel like because of what we experienced last year, we have such a more neutral approach to everything. And I think that's like we're already noticing the effects of like there's no high highs, low. Like we've kind of learned like how to expect things and like we just do the work, we get it done. It's a small shift, right? And I think that's like at least for me, that was so huge. In just like balancing your emotions, your expectations, taking a lesson and a hit. Otherwise, you just spend too much time within the problem, you know, as opposed to just getting through it.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I think a lot of other things we'll probably learn last year were like in team related, quite a fair bit.
Yeah. Lots of stuff there.
I think that something that changed for the better for us was the way that we hired in terms of like the criteria for what we were actually
That changed.
deciding. Yeah, it changed a lot, right?
Yeah.
The criteria for how we were hiring wasn't necessarily about skill, right? Don't get me wrong. I think skill has its level of importance too, but like the old adage of hire for attitude, train for skill, if that makes sense, right? I feel like in the past we were trying to fill positions rather than trying to actually find people who also hold the same desire to prove people wrong. And they're just
Mind if I tell the Matt story?
Matt? Sure, I don't know what you're talking about. Let me hear the Matt story.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Matt story is, bro.
The Arizona Matt story. That was the pivoting change moment.
Oh, fuck you.
That was the pivoting change moment for this, right? So
I need to be yesterday. I got to text Matt back.
Yeah. I'll share the story because I think this defines kind of this lesson, which was we throughout the whole year, right? Like looking to fill our sales team needs with people and we were recruiting and like, don't get us wrong. Like, we're still looking for our culture fits, but there's a massive emphasis of like, we need people to fill the skills, which I think has a time and place, but at our stage, we're trying to build that core team, knowing that we don't have everything figured out. it was kind of an impossible ask to get an elite salesperson to come in an organization when we're still like last year figuring out the demonstration marketing and these other pieces. So their standards were like, it would have been hard. And when we went to Arizona, right, we were working at a co-working space where we kind of met some people and started to expand kind of like just our network in America. And we met this dude, Matt, shout out to you, you're an awesome guy, and fuck you at the same time. So it's not
Fuck
joke.
you.
And he used to sell, he sold an insurance software and he was kind of like in an opportunity
Yeah,
selling
that's
that.
what it was.
And the big kind of cool thing that we drew from that is like their team culture, they were hitting like essentially as many dials a day until they get told a level of fuck yous that it's the target. Their target isn't hit this, it's a level of fuck yous. And it kind of speaks to a greater kind of shift in culture for a sales team.
100 fuck yous a day
100
was his
Which is hard, right? And he's cold calling a raw data list. Like, just give this guy some guts. Most of you fucking eye-taking motherfuckers are looking for inbound, like, won't have the balls to do that kind of shit. Or
there's a lack of testicles. I
it's a
found
stamina
in
thing too,
our
right?
IT
Like, you
space.
sustain that for a year. You have the ability to handle that.
There's stamina behind it, right? But finish up because
Let me get to
everything.
The
Yeah.
actual point there was like through conversating with Matt, it became evident to us that we were less so much looking for somebody to skill level like somewhere, but it was that we needed that culture fit to come in, because if you find a Matt, if you find the one that plugs in and speaks to your core culture of how you want people to be, then achieving the skills and the systems like fit is a rolling the ball downhill versus trying to roll a ball uphill because you're trying to like fit something into something that might be the best fit. That's the point. It was that. So that was a defining moment. And it was, I'm glad. Right.
To expand on that, not only was that the change, but what changed for us, I think, in the way that we started hiring then was because the thing that made us go, or that I recall made us go, huh, is like his story. He said, like, bro, I worked at a cafe.
Yeah. Right. There's another part too.
So super high people skills already, right? Like working in a cafe as like a server, essentially, right? He's navigating 30 conversations at once, right? So he has a skill of navigating 30 conversations at once, navigating conflict. My order's wrong, this, blah, 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 right? Like there is a million things happening every fucking day. That like it's absolute brute force chaos.
Yeah.
Working as like a server or something like that in a scenario like that, if that makes sense, right? And the way we started hiring is like, well, what if like thinking in terms of like what he'd done in the past, right? And I didn't really care for sales because we've got someone on board right now who's a setter who he also has worked in a shoe shop, and there's also been like some other experience in like trading. So like the dude, he understands how to analyze things. So I'm like, cool, if we can help him understand how to analyze things based off his trading experience to look at sales numbers, it'll be fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can help him understand the experiences that he had inside the shoe shop and how that relates to sales, he'll get it and it'll be instant. And instantly he got it every time. Whenever I use an analogy based off those things, because there's already a high people skill element to make it really fucking easy to be able to go, I understand a person I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to a human. I'm speaking to them like they're human.
Mm-hmm.
And now I just have to learn the skill to be able to understand what we're selling and how to apply that to this certain situation. And in almost every interview that we are essentially having, it's like, I'm looking to see, do they have people skills? Can they hold a fucking conversation? Am I bored speaking to this person? Do I want to stab my fucking eyeball because I'm in a meeting with you right now, right? Like, not because if not, awesome. You probably won't make me want to hurt myself. If I work with you, right? Like,
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that moment in SalesCon last year where Matt Ryder is like, you know what the problem in the industry is? It's that we're giving training to a bunch of video gamer guys that have never actually spoken to humans and never
human.
Like it's literally, and I was like, I remember when he said that.
Being in a dark room, fucking Like their whole life, you've got an 18-year-old kid who their whole life, is it Gen Z? Is that who they are?
Like call it the
Gen something.
Gen Z.
Gen something.
Yeah.
The most up-to-date generation, whatever you want to fucking call it, right?
Generation.
Little cunts to say skibbity, right?
Yeah, we're out there.
Are all sitting on devices and not having human connection
Yes.
for the most part,
That's the
right?
thing, yeah.
As a consequence of that, you hire young people and all they've done their whole life is fucking sit on video games,
Yeah.
right? But
Mhm.
this is a hack. If they've played video games where it's a team sport, that works.
Yeah. And they're very,
Right.
like, they're competitive. Then it
Correct. If they were competitive communicators within that, fine, right? Because I remember in an interview I had with someone, I remember one of the questions asked was like, "Hey, like, is there like a leaderboard in the game you play?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "And when you're number 3, like, how do you feel?" He goes, "I want to fuck kill it." It's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And like, are you the type of guy that when these things are happening, like, are you the person taking orders or giving them in the game? He's like, "I'm usually the one taking it." Like, oh, so like, you're not really a leader, right? Like that, like you can find that out if that makes sense, right? But if you're playing isolated games that aren't with other people, it's not going to work. Anyways, moving on from that.
Yeah.
The idea was that like the way we changed the approach to who we were hiring is a huge difference, and I think will make a massive difference for what we see happen this year. And it's like, if the core premise of your fucking job, brother, is that you have to deal with people all day long. My God, I hope you have people skills, not sales skills, people skills.
Yeah. And that you actually are the kind of person that draws energies from these interactions. And that's I think that's such a missing component. Like if you're going into a sales career or building a business that's like this, like I sure do hope that you enjoy talking to the people that you talk to, or at least learn to find a way. Because I certainly didn't always enjoy some of the conversations I was having. They're boring, but can you learn to find a way? Absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
So that's like, I'm sure it changes the game, right? When you wake up, like, I think inspired and wanting to be in that conversation and that you're focused on like finishing what you started and showing up in the best way possible every single day. It's just like, the word is like infectious, right? Like the whole team infect other with positivity. Like it's just different versus, hey, we're hitting target.
The difference in our at the sales meetings now, right?
Today,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
today and last week's, I think were some of the best that we've ever had as like a whole team sales meeting, if that makes sense, right? Like we have a team. I think part of it does help that we have the new dashboard, so they can all see everything and they can see across week by week the differences. They can see the impact of the effort that we put in last week. They can see the benefits. They can see the challenges. They can see, and one thing I found that has been really helpful, and this is from a leadership or a management perspective, is like showing it, shutting the fuck up, and asking them, "What do you guys see?"
Yeah.
Right, and it's like because there's that clarity, and because they're the right people, right? They're like spewing out all this fucking like, we need to do this. This is fucked. This is working. This is not. If that makes sense, right? If they weren't the right people, and we didn't have, again, I started by saying data is the first fuck up.
Yeah.
We didn't have either of those things. We wouldn't be in a position right now where we are literally tripling our call volume every week.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So without those two things, I don't think we would. I thought we would never run in short of winning this year, but it would be much fucking harder.
It would be so much more harder to do so. Yeah.
Did you say hotter because you're just hopeful?
Harder. Yeah, just a little and more. But
You
no,
need some hotter because of the heat, because it's so warm there right now, bro.
oh man, fuck off. By the way, Chris is just teasing me because I'm in fucking Canada. It's cold as a motherfucker. But
Yeah, we're gonna be fucking
we'll be in the US soon.
yeah. So
I think 5 weeks.
yeah. So quick little advertisement for you guys. Advertisement for you guys. May, I think 16, 17, we're going to run an event in Arizona. It's going to be the social selling and team building summit that we're going to run. We'll walk you through how we haven't had a month under 100 grand a month in the past 2 years. And we're going to walk you through how we have built our team based on the stuff we're talking through right now, but actually give you the principles, the playbooks, and everything else that comes along with that at the same time as well. So if anything we've spoken about this, like so far on this, has given you like, I'd like to learn how I can make 100 grand a month. I'd like to be able to work out how to have people who actually do want to also get the results that we're getting in the way that we're talking about right now, then guys should definitely come along to that.
Man.
Fucking lit.
Yeah, man, it'd be a fucking great time. You guys own it. Reach out to anybody on our team. Chris's profile, we get you all set up.
And advertisement.
See Paul Chambers for like, no, man. I honestly think that you guys will like, we have some great times at our event. It's learning, it's masterminding, it's implementation, it's going out to dinner,
fun.
it's the whole experience. One of my favorite
fun.
parts we do, like genuinely. So big management upgrades, big lessons, dashboards, systems, behavioral changes, breaking past mental resistance in so many areas. I think fears, like the whole package. And to be honest, I expect this year to be pretty much the same. But yeah, just like
in different areas, right?
in different areas. Yeah.
I do think that this year, as a difference, though, that it's perceiving to be that willingness to deal with that shit is higher,
Way higher. Yeah.
right? So I think that there's going to be a world where we see a difference in the results just by natural consequence of willingness to deal with annoying and hard and frustrating and inconvenient and broken and all those different things, but also being really fucking clear on priorities as well, right? Like we have our like tracker and dashboard for the actual like Q1 priorities and all this stuff as well. We have a better like rhythm in place of project management. We have a better rhythm in place for a lot of the actual things that we're working on. And we're fucking progressing. It's great. We've tripled call volume so far already this month, which is fucking great. And don't get me wrong, that still comes with the problems. It's more core reviews. It's more scenarios and everything else as well. I think one thing that we didn't speak about that I think is worth suggesting is based on that is the change in I don't want to call it vision. The vision hasn't changed. But change in behavior based off a comparison that we're using, which is running our team like an MBA team instead of a business team, right? I think that every sales meeting right now is actually us walking into a locker room with the whole team at halftime and looking at the scoreboard together and saying, hey, what the fuck are we doing to be able to actually get to the numbers that we need to by the end of the month is so much different when everyone's on board thinking about how can I be like that guy, right? Like Michael Jordan. And I think that one of the biggest concepts that like many people could and should be taking away is like, look outside business for concepts to actually take into business.
100%.
I went and saw Mufasa, the movie with Jeremiah the other night. And I went down this fucking chain of events in GPT while I was watching it, right? Because it was like in Mufasa, the movie, right? I found out there's gangs. There's lion gangs, bro. Lions have gangs.
What? By the way, I can't just watch the movie. I'm a huge fan for it.
Different prides, right? Different, like, because lions have prides. That's their whole thing. And there's different gangs from different areas, right? And I went to do some research and it showed me two different lion gangs. There's the Mapogo gang and then I forget, I can't say the last one, like Majingalane or something like that, right? And it was like the Mapogo ones, it's a coalition of 5 king lions who got together and just started terrorizing towns to take over, right? And then there was the Manjingalane ones or whatever else it was, who they were the only people who ever stood up to the Mapogo ones, and they ended up overriding them, if that makes sense, right? But there is documentaries and there is like fucking hours of study, like hundreds of thousands of hours done on study on these people as to how these lions would approach town takeovers, right? Pride takeovers, how they would assess weaknesses, who they would attack first, how they would attack them, and how they would actually go about taking over a whole fucking city and a whole pride of lions to become a part of their tribe, if that makes sense. And I think there is a huge level of wisdom within that, where if you want to go into an industry and you want to attack the weaknesses of all the areas that don't exist right now, going and getting concepts from places like that to be able to take back to your team to understand how it is done in a visual representation that doesn't relate back to business and go, oh my God, I get that. They'll start acting like lions now trying to take over the industry as opposed to, I'm a business guy doing business stuff. And it'll make a huge fucking difference, right? Because I found that since you started working the NBA mentality, we've all been on our fucking game. You add some lion shit into that and it'll be fucking game over, right? Some
And-
lion get shit, right?
No, I'm all like, from day one, right? Like, I think that's the thing that drew us to each other, is a desire for more than just business, but environment and culture and limitless that we're building and kind of something cool. So, and I think that's honestly what our long-term clients kind of see when they stick around, like just a bigger thing than just business. And bro, there's so much fucking wisdom in like studying humans, animals, and things outside of business. There's so much wisdom from that. That's like the more that I think we lead into like how those teams operate, the more we pick up the coaches, NFL, like there's just so much to learn. Yeah. And the business structure stuff is great too, right? Like we've also picked up and learned how to learn meetings and how to structure systems and how to do objectives. Like you got to do it all, guys. Fuck, man. Like I think we learned that too. Like we need to be better here. But at the core of it, I think the thing that is driving it all is the getting everybody on the same page that like this is how we're going to show up to win a championship.
Yep.
And then we'll liberate anything that's coming in our way. And these are the meetings and standards and things that we do to address them. And so far,
And
I
who
think-
we are. And I think one of the bigger things too, and like this might be a good one to wrap it up on too, because I have to hop off. Almost every meeting and everything is like a good litmus test is like how we're operating right now is like, are we being an example of how people would want to model our team? Right. And I think that everyone in our team is like, oh, they're all bought into that. Where it's like, are we a team people would want to model and copy, if that makes sense, right? Which works really well for us because we obviously help people with their teams alter the stuff too, right? So we want to be a team that people would want to model and model the results on and all the different things within that as well. But I think that anyone who runs a business who has a team should have the idea and goal of like, my team should be something that people would want to study as well.
100%.
Because like you're only going to drive performance, right? Like most of the people that want to work with us, like deep down, the ones who are the perfect fit, they want it all. Like they want to wake up feeling like a motherfucking savage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that only comes by like true excellence. And like excellence is aggressive and excellence does not give a fuck about what you think about them, right? And I think that almost everyone who works with us who is that person is sitting there going like, is my team good enough? Right? That's whether they're like focused on a team building thing or not. I think that you should be trying to build a team that other people like, no one should be able to look at you into your team and be able to tell you or catch you out on anything that isn't at least moving towards some form of excellence.
I'll end it with a great analogy, like exactly what you said. You're trying to win championships, and you got a mid-table team and squad right now, then you better be looking at the championship teams and identifying, can we like, is the people that I have on there going to help me get to the rings? Do I need to change the team? Or is it the training and behavior and responsibility I need to take to make sure that I get my team the championship rings? If you're a mid-table team, it's time to step up. If it's a championship team, go study people around you and make sure to stay on top. And I think that's what we're trying to say, right? It's like, looking at around you and really understanding what does a championship team look like, and just like asking yourself constantly if you're aligned to that, and taking as many lessons as you can, just like you did from Mufasa. But yeah,
Bro, it was great. It was great. I learned about lion gangs. I'm
100%.
fucking like, one something that was lit. When we were in Vegas, when we went to that, the mobster fucking museum, the
Mm.
mob museum. It was like they should have a mob museum but for lions. I bet you there's lion gangs out there where they could have heaps of different things.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you for listening to our first one back. This was fun.
Yeah.
Like a sports center type fucking review, if that makes sense. And I think it would be significantly more fucking helpful for people than just talking through like different scenarios and sort of stuff as well, because it's like our lessons that we've gone through and stuff that's actually worked as well. So thank you all for listening. If you guys would like to chat about that, again, insert advertisement. If you guys would like to chat about that event, either hit myself or Faris up. We will have a sales page up for that within the next couple of days, or next couple of, at least by the end of the month, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you guys can run through it at the same time too. But social selling and team building summit. If you want to learn how we do all the stuff we did, and then learn how we operate internally, learn the new systems, learn the new dashboards, learn the offers that work, learn how to create those pre-selling assets, learn how to create the content that gets people to come in and all the stuff as well. That's where we're going to be able to show you guys through that stuff. And if not, I'm doing pretty good with sales.
Oh yes, guys, please subscribe, like, share, do all that good jazz stuff. Not because we
Advertisement and advertisement.
not because we want your engagement, but because we want the feedback. Let us know what you love about it. Comment on the YouTube videos, on the podcast, share with your friends. Thank you so much. It was a great chat, Chris. To the next one.
West Side.
Let's go.
Hey, I hope that was helpful for you. I hope it was tactical enough for you. I hope the scripts help, and I hope you actually get everything you want out of it. Now, if you are a high-ticket business owner and you would like to learn how we are helping our clients build 100K per month businesses, $1 million businesses, agencies, consulting companies, et cetera, and fix the main 3 points that most people are suffering with inside the business right now, which is volume of calls not being high enough, quality of calls not being high enough, those calls not converting, and then not having the right systems and procedures to get yourself out of the day-to-day and have good team come in. I want you to go and check this training out. It's the first thing to actually click on below. It is a step-by-step training on how we're actually helping clients fix those 3 problems, i.e. getting the right people on call, getting enough call volume for them, with people who know who you are, know what you do, actually trust you, and you can actually see the step-by-step content that we use, the actual scripting, and the actual way to pre-convert people before they get to a call as well. Watch it, implement, build $1 million business, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.